Hey guys, it's Danielle. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 4 fall DIYs inspired by things that I've seen on Pinterest. So for this first one, I fell in love with these chalkboard signs. I think they're actually from Kirkland's, but I'm going to recreate them using Dollar Tree products, of course. I have 2 of the 6x8 canvases and then a black piece of foam board. So I'm just going to remove the actual canvas from the wooden frames. And this was actually really hard to do. It took me a while. You'll see me like struggling a bit, but I just wanted to be really careful not to rip any of the staples out because I'm pretty sure that's what's holding the frame together. So my frames ended up being 2 different kind of like wood colors, but it ended up working out. I just used some of the antique wax by Waverly to stain these. I am going to be using my frame and an X-Acto knife to trace out the shape onto the foam board, and then I am going to take some scissors and trim the foam board piece down a little bit just so there's no hangover showing past the wooden frame. To secure it into place, I'm going to be using some E6000 as well as a little bit of hot glue around the edges. I used an app to recreate the words the best I could. I will link these down below as printables just in case you'd like to use them, but I'm just using my Cricut to print it out onto some white vinyl so I can transfer it onto the foam board. Here's how they turned out. For it just being a few dollars compared to the $30 that it was at the store, I think they turned out pretty cute. On to the second DIY. I have been seeing this beaded pumpkin all over Pinterest for a while now, and I knew that it would be popular. I created this in July knowing that if I waited this long, people would have already uploaded it. So I decided to keep it in and show you what not to do because I did make a few mistakes. Here's the supplies. I'll link these wood beads down below in my Amazon favorites because I do like them a lot. But you're going to need wired jute, and then I used this hazelnut chalk paint by Waverly to kind of give them like an ombre stain just so they weren't a flat, unfinished wood color. Set my beads aside to dry, and here's the first mistake I made. I cut 5 pieces of wired jute at 18 inches thinking I was going to put 9 beads on each little strand, when I should have cut them about 2 inches longer than needed, so maybe like 20 inches instead, to give myself extra room. In the end, you'll see why. But I'm taking 2 of the pieces and I'm going to kind of twist them together to make an X like this. And then I'm going to repeat the step with the other 2, and then you'll see we're going to take the 2 strands and twist them together to make kind of like one big star. So now I'm going to start stringing on 9 beads per strip you see here. And here's the second place I went wrong. Since this twine is sort of just kind of twisted onto the wire, the wood beads, the holes are big enough, it's just the twine starts to come unraveled the more you twist the beads on. So by the 3rd bead, my twine was so unraveled I wasn't able to get any on. And instead of using like some tape or something on each end to keep it in place and then slip the beads over the tape, I wasn't thinking, and I used hot glue to kind of like twist onto the ends and hold it together, just because the hot glue gun was like right in front of me. I think that's why I wasn't really thinking correctly, but if you use tape, these will go on much smoother. So here's where the extra 2 inches would have come in handy. You saw that I twisted together the ends on each of the little petals here. They look like petals, I don't know. Anyways, and now you're supposed to gather all of them together and twist up at the top, but I didn't have enough room, so I had to twist together the 2 and then 2 more underneath. And then I used an extra piece of wire jute here to kind of twist the knot together and hold it into place. To make the stem, I'm just taking another piece of the wired jute and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers like this to make sort of a curly little pumpkin stem, and I'm just going to hot glue it over that knot. And then I did take a little sprig of eucalyptus from a pick that I got at Walmart and I hot glued that for the leaves. So here's my little lopsided pumpkin. If you decide to recreate this and do it the correct way, let me know and tag me on Instagram so I can see how yours turned out. On to this third DIY, I really loved this photo of this kind of like green antique looking wooden cubby, so I knew I could recreate it using the wooden drawers from Dollar Tree, and I'm using some Waverly chalk paints you see here to recreate that color. And then I'm going to be just gluing them together with my Gorilla wood glue as well as some hot glue to hold them in place. I wanted to give it some height, so I'm using these wooden knobs that I found at Hobby Lobby on clearance to raise it up a bit. After I covered the whole thing in that moss chalk paint, I'm going to use some ivory and the antique wax to distress it the way the photo looked. Just for a finishing touch, I'm taking these metal drawer pulls that I got off Etsy, and I'm going to screw them into place just to give it a more high-end look. Here's how it turned out. While it's not super fall themed, something about the dark greens really make me feel like it's fall, so I'm going to try to incorporate this into my decor this year. For this last DIY, I'm going to be recreating a sort of apothecary jar like this to hold my dish soap. I've done something similar like this on my channel before, so I'm using one of these glass bottles with a cork from Dollar Tree, some Mod Podge, and then I created this printable. I'll link it down below, but I wanted it to be similar to kind of like a Bath & Body Works hand soap with the name Falling Leaves. I don't know. I left some white around the edges so that I could rip it and tear it, just so it can look more aged and antique. And then I'm going to take some of that antique wax by Waverly and run it around the edges. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down below, and if you're ready for fall, if you're still in the summer mood, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!